And of course, Pop and Nana always slept downstairs. But you only had the one bathroom.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, one bathroom.
Yeah. But back then it was rough. It was indoors. I mean,
well, that's the main thing. It was inside, and boy,
yeah.
When you're used to sitting in an outdoor one.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, they were
in the middle of winter. Yeah.
Upstairs, we used to go. We only had the coal and the wood furnace, in this house. And I forgot to get up at night many times and put some more wood on or coal or something to keep the house going. So that we were sleeping upstairs and it was cold. So Mom would line all the beds with there's newspaper to keep the heat in. And then she put the mattress and the other covers on top of it, We got a long time that way, and our heads right by the windows.
Yeah.
But it's funny the things you can do when you have to.
Yeah.
It really is.
Why? You had it rough.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And little Mom, we never had a single time that any of the kids wanted to bring a friend in that they couldn't do it. There was always enough food, and that went through to my grandma's house, too. I've never seen any of those aunts and uncles. They'd all bring friends home and this and that, and they always had so much fun, and then they had this huge, their dining room table was about the size of our front porch. And Grandpa made it. And they sit around that, but they never were short of food or anything. Grandma knew what to do with it, and then the kids, the grown-up kids, boy, they never had a bad meal in that house, and everything was always so good.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a lot of fun.
I don't think there was a bad meal in this house.
In this house?
Right.
No. This has always been that way. We could invite anybody we wanted.
Well, everybody remembers your Coogan and your potato salad.
Oh, yeah.
And other things as well. And I think dressing. You had some good recipe for dressing, too.
The kids used to come, and they'd come in the front door so they could, like Jerry's kids, and these two cars would come, these, 5 boys and one, and then 7 kids in the next one, and they'd come in just like a string. They'd all walk through. They'd always know they could stop by the dining room table and pick up olives. I always put a big supply for them. That started them good. Then they go from there out to the kitchen. And Jimmy would always ask for Dad. My pop would be out there. We had one of these regular electric cookers that would start baking at 4 o'clock in the morning and that sort of thing. So the kids would go through, and when they got to Pop would be standing there, and Pop, can we have some dressing, or could I have a little piece of chicken or a turkey or whatever it was? And they'd all get their little treats. Then they'd go out the back door, come around, and they'd try and get through again on this one. Well, there was lemons. We used to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun, I'll tell you.
But back then, it was all streetcar.
Oh, streetcar.
Or walking.
Streetcar or walking.
And bikes. They used bikes back then too. Bicycles.
We didn't have any bicycles, no.
Yeah.
They got one a little bit later, but Dad made a mistake and parked it in on the curb, and then he got fined $5. That's the way they used to be. Boy, if they could make money on something, they'd come around.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but that only happened once, but it's enough so you remember it.
Yeah.
You have to be careful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't know. Gosh. He used to, well, that was after I started working, because he took me, he'd give, in a bad winter morning, he'd give me a ride over to take the bus on the other side, to take care of this first part, getting over the bridge and all that sort of stuff, and standing around waiting and freezing for streetcars. So that's what, well, wait a minute now, maybe he'd take me out there, because I worked on Lake Street at this time, I'm thinking of. And, yeah, he'd take me up. But that Studebaker was one of, this square.
Yeah.
And it was green, a dark green,
Yeah,
I'll never forget it, and we got stuck on the bridge down there, going across the traffic bridge.
yeah,
And, the traffic, when you see it really distant, I think that, you know, was empty for, just practically empty the whole time. So we got stuck in right in the middle of the bridge. We got froze up. So I don't know, he got out and he rattled this and he rattled that, and he got something going anyway. We managed to get through, and then he dumped me off. But that's the way it used to be. You would have to work for everything.
yeah,
And I had, when I was working, going to school down on the east side, that was the old East High School. I
mhm.
went